Hey movie buffs, check this out. Altered States, directed by the legendary Ken Russell and originally written by Paddy Chayefsky, though he later distanced himself from the movie, stars William Hurt and Blair Brown in a wild ride of a film. So, here's the scoop. Edward Jessup, played by the incredible William Hurt, is a respected scientist and psychology professor who starts mixing up his sensory deprivation experiments with some intense hallucinogenic drugs. He's chasing the dream of unlocking new states of consciousness. Initially, everything's going great, but then things take a wild turn. The deeper Edward goes, the more his reality starts to unravel. Talk about a trip, right? Production of Altered States kicked off back in 1976 after a chat between Paddy Chayefsky and producer Howard Gottfried about crafting a modern-day mad scientist flick. By 1980, after Chayefsky won an Academy Award for Network, the project really started to pick up steam with top-tier talent like Arthur Penn directing and stars like William Hurt jumping on board. But drama alert! Just a few weeks in, Penn and Chayefsky's visions clashed big time, leading to Penn getting axed. Enter Ken Russell, the British director with a flair for the bold and the bizarre. He took over, but let's just say not everyone was thrilled with his style. Things got so tense that Chayefsky peaced out and didn't even come back, leaving his screenplay credit to a pseudonym. Even William Hurt wasn't a fan of Russell's wild ways. He originally signed on because of Penn's sensitive touch, but ended up just following orders under Russell's rule. Critically, it's a mixed bag. Some loved it, like Rex Reed, who tossed it into his top 10 films of 1980, and Roger Ebert, who raved about it. But others? Not so much, calling it everything from messy to just plain weird. And get this, during its first preview in New York City back in November 1980, it was so intense that 3 people fainted. They even had to have paramedics on standby after that. And when they tested it out in California, the audience laughed and jeered. Talk about a reaction. Released on Christmas Day 1980, Altered States still holds its own with an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.9 on IMDb. Curious? You can catch Altered States on most streaming rental services. Dive in and see for yourself if it's dazzlingly brilliant or just dazzlingly bizarre.